Hello, everybody. Scott Golden here with the SmackDown report for the 14th of May, 2021. Um, the show continues to be abysmal. The show continues to be a disappointment to what network television wrestling could be. But I think after 32 years as a fan, I've gotten to the point where I've lost faith in the WWE to put forward consistent programming. I can't imagine believing that they put together a month of consistent programming in 2021. Um, Maybe when Vince passes away, it's possible. Maybe if like there would have to be a major company change for that to even be in the line of what could be. In any event, you know, there are good talents on the SmackDown program, but there's also talents that are just thrown in because we have very little faith in the talents that we've signed up. Even though we've got 100, we've probably using the same 40 across two programs, and it's just sad. Anyway, Roman Reigns, Jey Uso, and Jimmy Uso come out for an opening segment. Again, another talking segment to open the show. Jey Uso's in the ring to start SmackDown. He notes that Jimmy disrespected the head of the table last week. Jey promises to take care of Jimmy tonight. Jey then introduced Reigns, promises that Reigns would defeat Cesaro on Sunday at WrestleMania Backlash. What a horrible name for a show. Anyway, Reigns and Paul Heyman take their time walking to the ring. They do a recap of the return of the other Uso and Cesaro's involvement. Reigns walks over to Jey, points out that Jimmy is a problem, and he wants to address Cesaro first. Everyone likes Cesaro. He says he likes him too. Called him one of the best wrestlers in the world. Reigns notes he's more than just a wrestler, and he doubts Cesaro could take his place in WWE. He doesn't think Fox wants Cesaro to take his place. Reigns notes Cesaro hasn't had a title shot before. Heyman informed him that Reigns had 39 title shots. Reigns turns his attention to Uso. Jimmy's music interrupts. He makes his way to the ring. Jimmy gets a new t-shirt and has one for Jey. When he's ready to join him, Jimmy doesn't think Reigns is going to be champion much longer. Jey's furious and told Jimmy to respect Reigns. Jimmy admits that he doesn't think Reigns can beat Cesaro. Jimmy claimed that if the Uso wins the tag title, then they'd be tribal chiefs. Reigns is furious and gets in Jimmy's face. He tells Jimmy that he couldn't do what Reigns does, and Reigns tells Jimmy to prove that he can be Reigns. He tells Jimmy to try and beat Cesaro tonight. Without hesitation, Jimmy challenges Cesaro to a match tonight, and Cesaro walks out and accepts the challenge. He promises to beat Jimmy tonight and win the title from Reigns on Sunday. I think there are people that think this is a good segment because it's multi-layered, but who cares about a tag team that's never been pushed as singles reality? They recap Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler attacking Tamina and Natalya last week. They showed Tamina and Natalya warming up for their upcoming match. Well, Cole pointed out that Tamina's never won a championship, and so 15 years later, or 10 years later, whatever it is, she finally does. Tamina and Natalya defeat Jax and Baszler with Reginald to win the Women's Tag Team Championship. I didn't like this at all, but it's because I don't see anything in three of the four talents in the ring, so it's hard to really carry it away. Natalya is over the hill by even men's standards, so it's not me picking on her as an older woman. She's stale, been around too long. Jax is unsafe, and Tamina never had it. So what you really have is three subpar talents who, at the end of the day, are holding back Baszler, who's someone they could really be doing something with. Reginald jumps on the apron, distracts Tamina. Jax takes advantage and beats her down. Baszler tags in. Babyfaces take over. Natalya has the match in hand. Reginald jumps on the apron again. Referee sends Reginald to the back. Baszler takes advantage and goes after Natalya's leg in the ring. Jax drops an elbow on Natalya for a near fall. Heels isolate Natalya in the corner. Tamina's down due to the attack before the break. Natalya fights back and Tamina gets the hot tag. Tamina sends Baszler down and scores a near fall. Climbs the top rope. Baszler cuts her off. Jax tags in, tries to give Tamina a superplex. Tamina fights back and knocks Jax down. Baszler tries to interfere, but Natalya yanks her off and then gives Baszler a German suplex to the floor. Jax then tries to climb up, but Natalya prevented her. Jax pulls Natalya into the ring and gives her a Samoan drop. Jax ended up on her back, and Tamina hits Superfly Splash for a win. And then they treat the title change like a huge deal. Post-match, Natalya and Tamina give her a speech. Natalya talks about never giving up. Tamina talks about Natalya believing in her new champion. Celebrate. Pyro goes off in the background because we need pyro when there's people still out of work post-COVID. Anyway, Cesaro against Jimmy Uso is an official for later tonight. Braxton interviews Paul Heyman in the back. She states Heyman was... she startles him, which I guess is kind of funny. He doesn't know if Uso will be able to win, but promises that Reigns will win on Sunday, which I think is a foregone conclusion. Commander Aziz Nigerian Medal of Honor ceremony. Apollo Crews holds a ceremony for Aziz. Crews praises him for assisting him and helping him win the Intercontinental title. Aziz stands on a box. Crews gives Aziz the Nigerian Medal of Honor. Big E interrupts on the big screen. He makes fun of the ceremony and says it's a big sham like Macklemore winning Best Rap Album. Big E promises to win the title back. Sami Zayn interrupts and makes fun of Big E. Zayn notes that he has some unfinished business with Crews since he's the real IC champion. Kevin Owens runs out. Raw breaks out. And Aziz and Crews beat down Owens. And Big E runs out from the back. Zayn runs out and attacks Owens as well. Everyone hits moves. Big E then goes after Crews. Aziz pulls him out of the ring. They recap Dominic defeating Dolph Ziggler last week. Ray with Dominic defeats Ziggler with Robert Roode. Ziggler and Mysterio have a decent enough match. Slow pace, but to pick up by the end. Ziggler has an advantage with headlocks and basic stuff. Mysterio fights back. Ziggler regains control with a shoulder tackle and taunts Mysterio. Mysterio fights back and sends Ziggler to the floor, follows up with a sliding dropkick and a splash on the floor. Mysterio misses a splash after the break from the second rope. Ziggler gets a near fall and breaks the match down into a slower segment. Mysterio gets the top rope. Ziggler attempts a superplex, but Mysterio holds on. Mysterio hits a senton from the top and follows up with a kick. Ziggler avoids a 619 and hits the Famouser for a near fall. Mysterio tries a second 619, but Ziggler hits a super kick for a near fall. Ziggler picks up Mysterio for a slam. Mysterio counters with a small package for the win. New girl Megan interviews Cesaro in the back. Cesaro notes he's dreamed of winning the title since he was a kid. He's not like Reigns and doesn't walk around wanting people to acknowledge him. He knows he can beat Reigns and win the title. Braxton interviews Dominic and Ray. Ray notes that he's ready to win the tag team titles at WrestleMania Backlash. Ziggler and Roode interrupt and make fun of Rey and Dominic. Rey and Dominic promised to win the titles on Sunday, and it's a start and stop storyline, so I can't imagine anyone's going to care. Bianca Belair segment. Bianca Belair makes her way to the ring. Cole interviews Belair and discusses her match with Bayley on Sunday. Belair is ready to face Bayley. Promises to retain the title. She wonders where Bayley is tonight. They recap Bayley attacking her in the past. Bayley laughs and refuses to tell her where she is. She's doing an annoying laugh and promised to win the title at the network per view. Belair knows why Bayley is so mad at her. She points out that WrestleMania 37, Bella's beat up Bayley and threw her down the ramp. Belair notes that will win the title. Or Belair notes that she won the title that weekend. Bayley promises to end the fairy tale title win at WrestleMania Backlash. This was a decent enough segment, but it's Bayley, so why wouldn't it be? A complete waste of a match and waste of a talent. King Corbin defeats Shinsuke Nakamura. At this point, what's the point of having Nakamura? And at this point, why are we still pushing Corbin when absolutely no one on the planet can possibly care about this talent except maybe children who don't have the active reason, so children under the age of about 8. Anyway, Nakamura demands to face Corbin because Corbin pinned him in the 10-man tag last week. Corbin attempts a suplex early, but Nakamura counters with a knee. Corbin takes over and hits Nakamura with a series of elbows. Nakamura comes back with a drop kick, and Nakamura then avoids a clothesline on the outside, locks in an armbar. Corbin can't break free from the hold, and then he rolls up Nakamura for the win in a cheesy win that makes neither talent look better. Post-match, Corbin puts the crown on. Nakamura attacks him and gives Corbin the Kinshasa. Nakamura picks up the crown, puts it on. Pat McCaffrey is shocked by this. Apollo Crews and Aziz approach Adam Pearce and Sonya Deville. Crews is angry about the attack earlier. Pearce said he's still trying to figure out which of them he's going to face. And then Crews became even more upset. Deville warned Crews to be careful. Pearce might make him face all three. And Pearce liked that idea. He announced Crews will be defending against Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, and Big E in a fatal 4-way next week. Pearce seems unhappy with Deville stealing his spotlight. In the back, Nakamura admires himself wearing the crown in the mirror. Aleister Black reads another chapter from Tales of the Dark Father. He reads the chapter. He said he could teach the lesson, but he won't. Completely pointless segment. Caleb Braxton interviews Jimmy Uso behind the curtain, and then Jimmy didn't think the first match back would be a singles match. He thought the Usos would reunite and win the tag title. They run down the Backlash card, and then main event, Cesaro defeats Jimmy Uso via DQ. They have a fine match until a completely pointless finish, but again, it's a right before network purview, so honestly, finishes don't matter, but when do finishes really matter in WWE anyway? He said, or they said, this is his first match back since WrestleMania 36. Cesaro catches Uso with a drop kick to gain an early advantage. Uso plays possum and hits a Samoan drop for near fall. Cesaro fights back and hits an uppercut. Cesaro then misses a charge in the corner. Uso sends Cesaro to the floor with a clothesline, follows up with a suicide dive. Back from the break, Cesaro hits a discus clothesline for a near fall. Uso avoids neutralizer and catches Cesaro with a super kick. Too many super kicks on this show. Uso climbs the top rope. Cesaro cuts him off with an uppercut. Follows up with a superplex for a close near fall. Testing superplexes in like 3 of the 5 matches on the show is also stupid. Cesaro hits a cannonball off the apron, nails Jimmy with a series of uppercut and throws him back in the ring. Reigns and Jey Uso attack Cesaro, beat him down for disqualification. Post-match, Jimmy yells at Reigns and says he's about to win. He yells at Reigns and says that Reigns makes everything about himself. Jimmy walks off and Reigns chases him. Jimmy and Reigns argue at ringside. Cesaro attacks Jay in ring. Reigns runs back to the ring. Cesaro fights him off too and also beats up both Usos. Reigns runs off watching from the ramp. Cesaro makes fun of Reigns. Hits a neutralizer twice on Jay while staring at Reigns. Next week, Intercontinental Championship 4-way. Apollo Crews against Owens, Zayn, and Big E. And what a anticlimactic deal that will be. Anyway, we'll be back with more of the WCW Saturday Night Series, and we're almost to 1,300 audios on the channel. Thank you for your continued support, subscribe, like, and all that good stuff.